Hello, and today we are going to be talking about fibromyalgia and whether the autoimmune protocol can help with fibromyalgia. So to start, I just want to rewind a bit and just explain a little about what fibromyalgia is. Fibromyalgia is basically pain that lasts at least 3 months. In individuals who get diagnosed with this, they have at least 11 of the 18 pain points, which I'm going to show you a picture of right here. As you can imagine, this isn't a very fun thing to struggle with, just basically due to the pain, but then also what often comes along with it is this chronic fatigue, sleep issues, headaches, gut issues can be common with fibromyalgia and more. And the most frustrating thing of this for people who are struggling is that we don't have a known cure for it because we don't know what's causing it. Now, I want to explain a little bit in this video about what some of the functional medicine thoughts are around it, what we do know, what might be a suspicion. I do have a client who is having severe pain who found significant improvement. I'm going to tell you about what she did to find that improvement. And then of course I want to answer, and I plan and I will answer the question about the autoimmune protocol, if that is even worth doing with fibromyalgia, and if so, how you can even get started, because I know that can be very overwhelming for understandable reasons. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So what we are learning about fibromyalgia is that it might have multiple different root causes to it. One of the biggies from my functional medicine training is mitochondrial insufficiency. And so what that means is basically in all these cells of our body, except for red blood cells, we have these mitochondria. And the mitochondria are really important for producing energy, that ATP, if you've ever heard that. So it makes sense that if our mitochondria aren't working as well as they should, that we can experience this fatigue, or you might be experiencing this fatigue and then having the downward spiral from that. Mitochondria need certain nutrients to function properly for that Krebs cycle to function properly, different minerals and things of that sort. And there are different reasons why people are at risk for nutrient deficiencies. One of them is the type of foods we eat. Maybe you had a childhood of eating low nutrient dense foods, or you might have some gut issues preventing absorption of important nutrients from your food, or your body might just have a higher demand for certain nutrients. Mitochondria can also be damaged or not work as well if they're exposed to different heavy metals and things. So that's something that we would take into consideration. And so if you don't know what functional medicine is, it's basically this approach that's been finding to be really effective for helping with chronic disease states. Different hospital systems across the country are starting to embrace functional medicine, and I'm happy to be living in Minneapolis, where we have a lot of really wonderful functional medicine programs, and we're seeing this get incorporated into the conventional medical system more and more every year, which is very exciting. People are realizing how much it's helping versus our just kind of traditional care. And so functional medicine, we're talking about using nutrition, using targeted supplements, using lifestyle approaches, and then, still medications and things as needed to think about what's the root cause of this and how can we fix that, get balance, and hopefully relieve some symptoms. And so why I wanted to explain that is that for fibromyalgia, that's really, really important, because again, we don't know the exact root cause of fibromyalgia, but it might be a combination of all these different things that can be then triggering the pain downstream. And so it might also be some inflammation, and about 70 to 80% of our immune system stems from our gut. So we do have some research showing how irritable bowel syndrome is common with fibromyalgia. And if you're struggling with fibromyalgia and you also have gut symptoms, bothersome gut symptoms, I would really encourage you to work with a dietitian. You can work with our clinic if you're interested in improving the gut health and seeing how that might improve your fibromyalgia symptoms. And in fact, the client that I had who was having some days of 10 out of 10 pain, after just a week of doing a gut protocol, she had significant relief in her pain, and she even had some days of 2 out of 10 pain, which she didn't even remember the last time that had happened. So that's very, very encouraging. A few other things that we're kind of linking to fibromyalgia include some chronic stress and trauma could be a potential root. And then also there's an interesting study showing 40 some individuals with high copper who then went through a protocol to get rid of that high copper, and their pain from their fibromyalgic pain significantly improved. That's fascinating. So now let's get into the core question here of the autoimmune protocol, and can that even help fibromyalgia? I want to start by saying the autoimmune protocol, you might be confused because if you're Googling this, you're going to get different answers on what an autoimmune protocol is, a food elimination protocol. That's because there's different autoimmune protocols out there, because the research on what foods trigger the immune system in a negative way is not robust, and partially because it's different for everybody. And so this autoimmune protocol, we can look at certain research studies where this was the protocol that was done and shown to improve Crohn's, which there's a really interesting study that recently came out on that. But at the end of the day, usually they're recommending to cut out wheat, dairy, high just refined sugar foods, and then other odds and ends. What I would say for autoimmune protocol, if you want to try doing this, I would just start with wheat, gluten, dairy, and then the high sugar foods, and see where that goes for you after a month, after 4 weeks of cutting those out and then reintroducing. You'll know. But what would be even better than doing just a random autoimmune protocol is to get something called mediator release testing done. And it basically is this test that was developed by an immunologist where it looks at 170 some different foods with your white blood cells, and it looks at how many mediators are produced when those cells are exposed to that food. So the test center, it does 170 some little vials of your white blood cells, puts a different food antigen in each of those, and then at the end of that, a chart is created showing the foods that were the highest reactant and the lowest reactant. And when I say mediator release, those mediators are what cause symptoms. So this testing is actually what my client did to get that significant reduction in her pain, and I think it's something that is smart to trial for somebody who's struggling bedbound and just looking for some other avenues that might help them. So again, to kind of, I know this is could be a bit confusing, but we have the autoimmune protocol, or like a inflammation elimination diet, and we have this mediator release testing, and it's just testing is going to be more specific to what's going on in your body, what your cells respond to, versus the autoimmune protocol is still kind of a guess, like an educated guess of foods that are common food sensitivities for folks. So if we are doing the testing, what you basically then do, and I'll show you this an example of some test results here, is that for the first about 10 days, you would only eat your lowest reactant foods. And so if this works for you, if this is kind of stemming from this gut immune system cascade and this is helping, you should notice significant symptom improvement within 7 to 10 days. You might also notice just some symptom improvement, and that's kind of the complexity of what my fibromyalgia might be, where there might be different root causes that you just have to start somewhere and then keep on peeling that onion to get to the core and just help yourself feel better. If you don't have access to that mediator release testing, my clinic does it. If you're interested, you can reach out. There's a link in the description for a free 15-minute call to see if we'd be a good fit together. But if you don't have access, you can certainly do the food elimination. I do want to note one more thing on food sensitivity testing is that there's a lot of tests on the market that just aren't research based. So for example, IgG is really rampant. IgG testing, I would not do that. It's going to be more of a waste of your money than anything. And so if that's the case, just do one of these two options, mediator release testing or the food elimination for a month. And for the food elimination, again, the whole autoimmune protocol with eliminating many foods is going to be overwhelming and could cause more stress, and stress might make the fibromyalgia worse. And so what I would really recommend you start with is just a gluten, dairy free. You can go to my Pinterest board, Oswald Digestive Clinic. I do have a board with a lot of different ideas for gluten and dairy free. Now, an easy way to just get started is to just start with one meal. So I usually say start with breakfast. If you're used to having maybe like toast and a nut butter for breakfast, or cereal, consider switching that over to some good quality eggs with a variety of different vegetables. Or something called chia seed pudding is popular. Now, if you don't know what that is, just Google chia seed pudding recipe and you'll see. And those are both really good sources of different nutrients, and they're gluten-free. Gluten is in wheat, rye, and barley, and then oats are often cross-contaminated. So you're going to be avoiding wheat, rye, barley. When you buy oats, you're going to have to buy gluten-free oats. And then dairy does not include eggs. I get that question a lot. Dairy is all the products that are coming from a cow or a goat or a sheep. I would cut them all out. Sometimes people do tolerate sheep and goat when they don't cow, but if you're doing the elimination, eliminate them all, just so you know. And when you reintroduce after 4 weeks of cutting them out, you can start with sheep or goat, and then you'll know if you can tolerate that, and maybe it's just the cow protein that you can't tolerate. Now, there are ghee products on the market that are very, don't have any casein in them. They will have some brands that are tested for that, and the casein is that protein that we're cutting out because of the commonness of that being a food sensitivity, food trigger. So those 4 weeks, I would just cut it all out. Even butter, if you want to try to find that ghee, that could be something that you could keep in, but it might be easy enough just to cut it out and use avocado oil, use some olive oil. Avocado is better for higher heat cooking, olive for lower. And then plenty of just produce. Think about what you would find at the farmer's market is an easy way to think about going about gluten-free, dairy-free. Good quality meat, plenty of vegetables, root vegetables too. And healthy fats, avocado oil, olive oil are really kind of foundational there. Nuts and seeds to snack on, whole fruits to snack on for an easy breakfast. You can even just do a piece of fruit with a nut butter. And then with our clients at our clinic, we do give extra support. We'll offer different meal plans, more recipe ideas, things of that sort. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have additional questions related to this topic, please comment below. And if you're struggling with fibromyalgia, please you can write the word fibromyalgia or tell me a little bit about what you're struggling with below. And especially if there's nutrition interventions you've tried that have helped you, you've tried that haven't helped you, let's start a conversation in the comments below. Please like this video, subscribe, hit the little bell next to the subscribe button. All that helps my videos move up in organic search so that I can keep making these videos for you. Again, hope you found this helpful. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon.